Alright guys, we're back in the wildlife garden and ta-da, I've got the ladders, so we're going to finish off the back bits of the hedge that we know the neighbour doesn't do and potentially can't reach. Also, where the meadow has come into the lawn a bit, I'm going to just trim that back. There were some really nice sort of daisies you can see in a previous video, and I've set up a playlist for all the times we visit this garden and each of the others as well, so check them out. And this tree here, we're going to cut a hole around it and give it a bit of mulch, take the grass out so it doesn't have to compete with the grass, and I'll flip you around and show you what Steve's going to do. He's going to do some weeding around the veg bed, and then we've got some other bits and pieces to do as well. So it's raining, so I'm not sure how much footage we'll give you, but we can do some before and afters. Let's flip you around. So that's the tree, and then some more bits that are just sort of coming into the lawn area. A bit parched as well. We've had some pretty dry weather, although the grass is looking pretty green over there. It's under a bit more cover. And Steve's over here doing some weeding in this veg bed. So this is the rhubarb. Just don't need to wake up a bit still this morning. Rhubarb area with some stuff the customers done themselves. Customers asked if we can leave the actual veg beds themselves but sort of weed the outside sort of path areas, so you can see there's plenty going on, plenty to weed out, especially in this corner. A lot of bindweed caught up in the netting which we can get out, and then this is what he did previously. I wish I'd shown you. It was totally covered, this compost area, in nettles and weeds. There's a bit of bindweed growing out, but we can see down the pathways. It's not too bad. This pathway's pretty full of weeds, and we can see the customers growing some gooseberry here, gooseberry bush, another gooseberry there. Potatoes here, the longer plants, and then weeds all down this way. These look like raspberries. I'm not sure if this is a raspberry or not, but it might be worth just leaving that. Just double checking with the customer. It's always good to make sure we're not taking out anything they don't want us to. And Lord only knows what this is. That'll get a chop back later in the year when it's finished flowering. It's very nice looking. These are the leaves, a bit spiky, and they tend to die back and be cut back for the winter. And then some bamboo here. This is a crabapple tree, I think. All the apples have come off. They'll have been snapped up by the wildlife. So a little corner of the garden we haven't spent too much time in. Here is a magnolia tree, and it does have a flower on, remarkably. They normally flower early in the year, so that's just a random stray one. We've got more bamboo here. And then round here is a big bush we're going to go after that's hiding the shed, and it's starting to encroach into this apple tree, which we're going to free up a bit, so we'll show you that, and I'll just show you at the end of the last session. I freed up the shed. It was completely overgrown, as you can imagine by this. And the customers just asked if we take off another couple of branches of this just to get out of the way of the door of the shed. And then plenty to do. This is an apple tree that we transplanted earlier in the year, and it's done really, really well. And it'll be really grateful for this water, this rain we've got. So okay, I'll carry on. There's the ladders, and we'll get on with this hedge and then all the other jobs and show you what we've done after. Alright guys, I'm up on the ladder. Feels quite far up. But this is what that little back bit looks like. So just about a foot of growth that I just couldn't quite reach even with the extension, but pretty happy with the rest of it, and I reached back quite far actually. So just a little bit of tidying up really to be done. Got the extension out as well, it needs the extension, it's that far back. So still raining a bit as well, so although it looks like it's just very fine now, but can't really leave the camera out, so we'll keep updating you anyway. Alright guys, I'm halfway up the ladder, and here we go. There's the hedge along there. Pretty happy with it. It has grown out a little bit, so we've trimmed it back a bit more, and there was the side hedge there that we did. And just got the hedge cutters resting on the ladder, and then this is the last section at the back. I thought I'd show you close up, so it's interesting actually. If I just climb slightly higher, make sure not to knock the... You can see, so here at the end of my fingertip is where the hedge cutters could reach with the extension, and actually they could go back further up to those sticky outy bits. Just went a bit deeper there, I think, maybe without the extension, and then with the extension that'll be it, and then with the ladders we'll be able to get that final bit. But they're deep hedges. I could only sort of guess they're probably about, I'd say maybe 2 meters wide, if that helps you. So pretty deep. We'll get that last little bit, and it's very, very light rain, so hopefully we'll start recording a bit more a bit later when it stops, if it stops. Carry on. Okay, just going back in to grab the ladders from this bit I've just showed you, from just being up the ladders. I thought I'd show you the access. So around the back of the hedge we've got the tripod ladders, and then had to wedge them in here because this bush just past them was too dense to really spread them out, so put them at an angle and then climb up. But the last bit that I was showing you up the ladders, that's out. There's an open bit, so I'll bring the ladders out and then do that last bit. Alright guys, I'm just out the front. I've finished the back hedge, but this hedge, you can see where it's had chunks taken out the top. Just between you and me, the customer's husband did this, and she asked me quietly just to neaten it up. So I've neatened up the side, looks nice, nothing I can do about the chunks. And then that yew hedge at the back, I've neatened up the sides of that as well, but they want the top to grow, so we've left that loose. So I'm just going to blow this away. That, I don't know if you can see that guy over there in that front garden, he has got a strimmer. He's wearing no ear protection and no eye protection. It's an absolute nutter. He's going to come undone. He's just strimming up and down the side of this, I don't know, hedge. It's absolutely bizarre. So I don't know if he lives there or if he's been hired in to do a job. I suspect hired in because of what he's using. It just looks like it's a bit more than domestic. It's like got a very dark red, almost maroon colour on its engine. But anyway, I'm going to blow out. Oh, and one of these, see this big thing on the edge? I've just removed it from here. I've removed one of those from in there. It was bunching out and causing the customer. Alright, I'm going to give a blow. I'll see if I can bring you along with me. So nice and neat. and that's another few jobs down. We'll see Steve later what he's done in the veg bed, and I'm going to go and hack some things back and trim some stuff now. Okay, quick update guys, here's Steve finishing off cutting out the base around this tree. We're going to fill that with some compost, sheep's wool compost actually, which is a bit random, so it'll be a bit more like that tree. That's an apple tree though, that other one isn't. Just chopped down this bush, so a bit to tidy up into the bin, and we've trimmed this one back from the tree around it from the back and just away from the path going through here, so we've got a lot more space. It was kind of more like that sort of gap to walk through. You can see the shed, still need to get that one down, and then I've trimmed a yew tree. It's a beautiful one. I've given it a loose trim because that's what the customer was after, and there's one next to it that's very nice looking. It's got a couple of random errant bits above it, but that one wouldn't normally need trimming and just grows up as it is. Oh, and you'll see in the middle, this is the apple tree that I showed you earlier that we were going to free from this bush, and here it is. So it's got a good lead, strong leading branch. It's got a couple of apples on already. This was just planted year and a half ago, along with that one up there, just past the bin. I'll show you the weeding Steve's done. So I've been through rhubarb bed very nicely. See if I can get in. Yeah, here's the pegged entrance way through the net, and we can see down this path nice and clear. Bit of bindweed in the netting, but that will die off very quickly now that we've taken the roots out. Totally clear down that path, that other path as well. And if you remember, I'm at a different angle, but this was a really weedy bit. I see he's just a bit unsure about a couple of weeds and he's left them in, which is fantastic, but they are weeds there, and I asked him to leave these in, which look like they might be raspberry canes actually, and so we'll just double check with the customer if they want them in. I don't think they will, but we always, if there's a little bit of doubt, there's the compost over there, if there's a little bit of doubt, we will leave stuff and double check with the customer, because gardens are very personal, and if you take out the wrong thing, it can be very annoying indeed. So nice clean vegetable patch, compost area as well. This corner's a bit unruly, but it's nice actually to finally see these, what these are. So a very beautiful yellow flower, and lots of them, but a bit unruly and crowding out the magnolia. I forget what that really spiky one is. It has beautiful white yellow flowers. So, and then over here is the first tree that ever was, the dinosaur tree. I think it's a gekino tree or gecko tree or something like that. You look at the leaves and they're absolutely unbelievable. Really interesting. So the last trail cam we laid down didn't get any footage because a flower opened up in front of it the day later, but caught the end of a tail apparently. So I've got it back with me to set up again, but we will be collecting a wildlife cam that should have been very clear in the next garden, at the pond garden. So stay tuned for that. I'll clear up this stuff and show you the results at the end. Guys, I've set up the trail camera and I've put it on, but it's one of these where you can't actually see can't really see where it's pointing, and I'm not really sure how to use it because it's not mine, but we're going to see if that comes up with any footage. Literally below it is where they go in and out, the animals, so whatever they are, could be a badger, could be a fox, we're just not sure. So we'll just see what happens to that camera over time, and I'll show you the other bits we've been doing. I'll be picking up the other trail cam in the next garden, or swapping the memory cards. Right, this is the mulch that Steve's done, so very nice. He's cut out a circle for that tree, and it's an unusual one. You look at the leaves, it's not cut or anything, that's how they are. So the customer likes their unusual trees. Maybe it's another one of those Gekino trees, but slightly different. And just finishing off, tidying up around here, and then we'll be able to do a bit of weeding and clearing up. Bit of membrane down there, and that's the veg patch over there. So that's it from this garden. We'll let you know if we find any wildlife next time we're here. In 2 weeks' time we'll pick it up, and we'll get something eventually. I'm getting a couple more wildlife cams for my birthday at the end of the month, and so that'll make maybe up to about 3 or 4. So stay tuned, be patient, and we'll see some animals in these gardens at some point. Over and out.